A good story is probably one of the most compelling factors to consuming any type of media. Whether it's books, movies, or even fucking politics, the narrative is a huge proponent to how people perceive and interact with the media all around them. Gaming is no different. A large part of why people play video games is because of the inherent story element. The characters, the major plot points, and the twists and turns are all what makes some video games truly unique and even generational experiences for many gamers. That's why games like Cyberpunk and The Witcher are among the timeless greats. Ever since I started playing them, I can't tell you guys how much I regret spending like 15,000 hours playing the same champions on the same map with the same toxic assholes, where I could have been spending all that time doing other useful stuff or exploring the rich lore of RPGs. Remember what I said in the last video, guys. Video games are supposed to be like interactive books and movies. And what makes a book or a movie exceptional? Its story. And like I've discussed in my last video, the reason why the gaming medium is superior to stuff like shows and movies is that it gives you interactive control over the characters and creates a much more immersive experience. And so for my second attempt in trying to convince you guys that RPGs are better and you should be playing them instead of League, let's delve a little bit deeper into how the lack of story within League makes it a painfully regretful experience compared to other genres of games like RPGs. If you guys are new here, my name is Raybees and I help people have a better relationship with video games so you don't end up ruining yourself addicted to them. I spent about 12 years addicted to video games, League and RuneScape in particular, and so the videos that I make are content that I wish I would have seen when I first started out in gaming. If that sounds like something you would like to see more of, do the usual YouTube stuff and like and subscribe. So now look back and recount on your League of Legends journey thus far. Can you draw a story out of it? It's a lot harder than it looks, right? It's mostly a jumbled mess of highs, lows, and random bullshit ass champion interactions. And isn't that a bit sad? You've spent all this time playing this game and there's no coherent story to link all of your experiences together. Your memories of the game are whatever the fuck comes into your brain first, and their order is decided by whatever your mood happens to be at the time. This is especially true for someone like me trying to look back on my League journey. I can remember the rank milestones and the sickest outplays and people gassing me up, but I feel like these are all just small vignettes within my whole 12-year journey. Every game has its own story, true, but those little stories don't combine together as a part of a bigger collective, and that's the problem with spending so much time in League. It's all one giant haze of overstimulation. Looking back on it, you probably can't even remember what you were building towards. You're probably gonna say something like rank promotion, but how has building towards your rank promotion helped you in any sort of way? Have you scored higher on your tests, or got into a better school, or gotten a new girlfriend, or gotten a pay raise at your job, or even felt a sense of true purpose? Not really. You just probably sat there freeloading off of your parents for months, or probably even years, and you're trying to convince me that your meaningless fucking rank promotions are somehow significant. They're not. While we're on the subject, let's talk a little bit more about rank progression. Because as far as Daddy Riot is concerned, the story of your rank progression is all that matters. Just look at the graph from your OPGG, and the LP fluctuations over the weeks is basically their representation of a story within your League of Legends time. Not only is that a pitifully pathetic ass story, but what about the people that don't even play ranked in the first place? What about people that just play norms with their friends or the ARAM enjoyers? The MOBA genre's inability to create a story outside of your rank progression is quite a damning part of the game, because that's what everyone gets convinced that they have to strive towards, even if they don't really want to. Don't get me wrong here, when I first got Diamond, it was a life-defining moment for me. I'd finally gotten the rank that I wanted to after all these years and proved to myself that there was a process I could use to get better at anything I wanted to, even if I wasn't really good at it. It might have been long and daunting sometimes, and I felt like I wasn't gonna make it, but learning the process was such an invaluable lesson that I don't regret it one bit. However, what I do regret is that it didn't have to be through League. If I never played League and did something useful and productive to my life instead, I was bound to learn these fundamental skills anyway. This is the main point of criticism I have with League and competitive games in general. And I hate when fucking clowns try to cope that there's useful life skills that you're developing, like calm under pressure or multitasking. Yes, while this is true, it's also true that you can develop these skills in less stimulatory and more productive environments instead of just clicking away on your computer. The same outcome could have been reached, but by training skills that would have served me much better than fucking knowing how to kite on an ADC or flank as an assassin, you know what I mean? Now, let's compare this with RPGs. Like I said already, RPGs are built off their stories. The story, as well as their gameplay, often combat related, is one of the biggest allures to the genre and why the vast majority of people become intoxicated with these games. It takes you on a wild journey filled with all sorts of emotions. And one thing about the emotions you feel during these RPGs is that they feel genuine and authentic. If the game has done a good job of setting up the immersion correctly, then the emotions that you feel during certain scenes feel quite earned and lifelike. This is not how League operates. A lot of the emotions you feel when playing League occupies the extreme facets of your psyche. It's either extreme elation when you make a sexy outplay or come from behind to clinch a win, extreme frustration when you do literally anything suboptimal, or just mind-crippling numbness from the rest of it. Aside from these three emotions, I bet you can't really answer what other emotions you feel when you play League. Aside from these three emotions, is there anything that you feel when you play the game? Go on, try answering me. Do you feel anything except elation, frustration, or numbness? No, you don't. Have you heard of the phrase, it's not the destination that counts, but the journey? It's funny because in League, it's always about the destination. You basically eat shit for months, or years in a lot of cases, before you feel that amazingly fulfilling sense of pride when you see the rank border go up for the first time in a while. You bathe in the afterglow for a couple of weeks and then go back into the shithole of climbing for the next rank. This is why it feels like shit 80% of the time when you play League. Riot has made your journey about the rank and rank only, and people that aren't really familiar with the mechanics of the MOBA genre get easily frustrated by their shocking lack of agency for about most of the game, like 80%. Interestingly, RPGs are the exact opposite. When done correctly, the progression of the story is what most constitutes to the player experience. You go through your trials and tribulations as your avatar, and this lets you experience a vast array of emotions that League could never offer you. Things like brotherhood, love, grief, and mentorship are some things that's virtually impossible to find in the League universe. Maybe the best you can do is like camaraderie if you play like good friends and not like toxic edgelords, but that's about it. You actually feel kind of empty when the story ends because the journey was the enthralling part of the experience. The whole point I'm trying to make here, guys, is that RPGs are more about the story than the destination, and that's why they're such a superior way to spend your gaming time instead of playing League. The whole process feels organically fun and pleasurable, much more than the contrivance of having to hate your life for months just for like a few weeks of happiness before hating your life for months again. Having a constant stream of healthy, varied emotions within your escapism leads to a more positive relationship with video games and make you less likely to get addicted. Remember guys, the whole reason I even started the series in the first place was because I was seeing my clients seeing success switching genres and getting less addicted as a result because you're not running on the toxic fuel that is League of Legends. Rid yourself of this game and allow yourself to experience the vast sea of interactive stories out there. I can't stress how much I regret spending time on League. It's not even from like a life satisfaction point of view. I literally would have had more fun gaming if I didn't spend time playing this dog shit ass game and learn to be controlled by all of its sweaty, toxic subset of rules and expectations. So don't make the same mistake I did and drop League and substitute in RPGs. That's it for me in this video, guys. Hopefully I've convinced some of you guys to switch over. I still have more videos coming out on this particular series alone, so if you like more content like this, do the usual YouTube stuff and like and subscribe. Join my Discord for a free 30-minute call so you can get advice on mastering your own gaming addiction, and I'll link the first video of the series on the right if you haven't watched it already, and I'll see you guys there. And remember, solving your gaming addiction is a lot easier than you think. Follow me and I'll show you how.